I think the worst thing that we oftentimes end up doing is to go into resolution before we felt the emotion. Feel the feelings, feel the emotions, let them pass, let them be there, attend to
Sure.
them, watch them, right? And then, of course, once they pass, just go back to your rational mind.
Tending to ourselves for the feeling we're having. So, okay, we feel pain because this thing happened. Tend to that by self inquiry, evaluation, rather than chasing the approval of the person that we fear we disappointed.
If you find yourself in these situations where you feel like, yeah, something disappointed you, and you still feel disappointment, what would you look for to change?
My first stop would be, who is my expectation serving? Did I set the expectation to please someone else because of an agenda that I think they might have? Is it even true? Is it even real? Is it even present? What does my expectation serve? I think that very often expectations are created from the energy of fear.
Things like trusting and or loving might feel so far away that's incomprehensible. So it's like, how do you trust? What do you do or not do in order to trust, in order to have that trust?
By being down to nothing and living through it. It can't be outsourced. The best coaches and teachers and therapists and counsel of any kind, nothing can occur until we are willing to embody it long term.
I gotta look in the mirror and look into the eyes, and I see fear. I see fear. And then I'm asking, like,
Yeah.
which part of me sees that fear in the eyes of myself?
Yeah.
You know? Hello, curious minds, beautiful souls. It's good to have you back to Awaken Aware podcast. Tammy and I today are going to chat a little bit more about the expectations that we often have and sometimes not really sure how to handle the situations that then inevitably cause us disappointments. And we're, of course, going to talk about how life so graciously brings us opportunities to grow. We are all about awareness, and you need that in order to really make any changes in your life and becoming aware of the behaviors that you have that are currently perhaps your complete blind spots because they are out of subconscious mind. Awareness is one of those tools that helps all of us to level up our game, to help us become free of the constraints of the blind spots that we carry in our subconscious mind. So let's get started. Help me welcome Tammy back, and let's see where this takes us. Welcome back to Awaken Aware podcast. Once again, here we have Tammy with me, and we are going to talk today about how to handle disappointments, how to deal with expectations, and what to do with self-judgment that comes often out of those situations. And let's just get right into it. So, one of the quotes that still lingers in my mind from Peter Crone is, "Life will bring you people and circumstances to show you where you're not free." What does that mean to me? To me, it's like anytime I find myself, something happens, someone doesn't show up, or I don't show up for someone, there's disappointment, there was expectation. That's, again, just to me, that's an opportunity to look at it slightly differently and ask myself, since that rattled my cage, quote unquote, what is it within me that has rattled that cage about that event, about that person, about what I did, about what they did, etc. So recently, just to share on the side, I've had a couple occasions where I missed appointment, and I mostly don't miss appointments. 95% I don't miss appointments. But every now and then it happens, and when it happens, I feel so bad. First of obviously wasting somebody else's time, and I'm very cautious about that. And secondly, it's a disappointment for them. They were looking forward to something as well that I was going to provide for them or do with them, and even just the time spent together. And it ends up being a disappointment. So I can feel disappointment on their end, and I can feel my own disappointment as well. So what can we do? How can we handle this kind of situation? And so, Tammy, if you don't mind, share something that might have happened similarly in your recent time, and or if you have some insights into what do you do with that kind of a situation.
Yes. Yeah, thank you. That it's such a great topic because it can go off in so many different ways. So for me, it's kind of as with everything,
Hmm.
what is the source? So a feeling comes. Something happens and we have a feeling. Okay? So we're feeling pain or fear or insecurity.
Hmm.
And so if we ask why, is it just about the person that, we had an appointment with? Is there a space with that person where we have insecurity or fear? Like, is there something in there that needs to be worked that makes us fear that the relationship, the friendship will fall apart, or, the worst case scenario that goes through our mind? And in order to do that, I think of detachment from the source of the event that caused the pain, the feeling, the emotion that feels that we don't want, undesired. And the story that comes to mind is the story of the snake, right? Like, and about tending to ourselves for the feeling we're having. So, okay,
Hmm.
we feel pain because this thing happened.
Hmm.
Tend to that by self inquiry, evaluation, rather than chasing the approval of the person that we fear we disappointed, that maybe is going to leave us, maybe won't invite us again, maybe whatever it might be. Maybe it's a client. Oh my gosh, I was late. Maybe they're going to fire me. Maybe they won't want me to coach them anymore. Anything like that. And so that tending to self is like the snake. If you get bit by a snake, don't go chase the snake and ask it why it bit you. Tend to the venom in your body that is going to kill you if you don't, right? And so you don't need to know the why from the other person or people.
Hmm.
The why that we need to know in order to expand, or that will serve us, is our why, to why we are feeling. Why are we taking it that far, for instance? So if we do something and we say we messed up, we forgot an appointment, we didn't show up, we didn't follow through in some way. Like, why is it such a worst case scenario?
Hmm.
Why is it, an emergency situation? Is it really the other person that's not going to forgive you, or is it the self? Is it self-judgment? Is it conditions upon the self? And for me, that's revealed if we when we sit with ourselves and our own emotion that we're having,
Hmm.
we're going to get that answer. But if we go after the person, they might not even notice,
Yes, yes. And I
right?
love that you said that feel your emotion. Just feel it there, be there
Mhm.
with it, right? Like you said, you get bit by a snake, attend to your wound, right? For
Yeah.
that moment. And then once the wound has been attended, in this case scenario, maybe there is an emotion that has just passed. As we
Mhm.
talked about before, the
Yeah.
emotions last about 90 seconds or so. So,
Mhm.
anywhere up to between a minute or two. And once the emotion has passed through, obviously you felt the feeling of the emotions, the anger, the frustration, the pain, the
Mm.
disappointment, whatever it is. And
Yeah.
then it dissipates slowly because it's there to peak up and then it's there to dissipate. And then you can ask her why. Okay. Or, in the snake's case, like what kind of snake was that? What, anti-venom do I need kind of thing,
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
once
Yep.
you have it under control kind of thing. But yeah, I think the worst thing that we oftentimes end up doing is to go into resolution before we felt the emotion.
Yes. Great point. Yeah, exactly. Because sometimes that bypass, if we just stop and sit still for a minute, it's kind of like if we're driving and we realize that we're lost. The fear over, okay, being late or whatever, that the perceived fear over what's going to happen if we don't end up on time to our destination, if that kicks in first and we kind of run off onto that spiral,
Mhm.
tends to be we drive faster, create a potential for, an accident, because now we're not paying attention. Now we're driving faster to hurry up and get back on track.
Mhm.
And that rushing is going to oftentimes take us further away.
Mhm.
So we could pull over, stop for a second, take a breath, pull up the map or the whatever, go, look at it, reroute it, look at what's around you sort of and see, because oftentimes maybe we're really close. Maybe it was just one turn we missed, but if we keep going, maybe we're 5 miles away. But if we just take the time to pause, that time to pause is going to be less detrimental and less likely to cause us to be late than it would if we rush
Mm-hmm.
into trying to find our way.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, okay, stop and deal with the initial, you know, bite incident, being whatever. Like, stop and look at it right then, and it's less problems occur, I think.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Again, I mean, to feel the feeling is the secret, really, I would say. Feel the feelings, feel the emotions, let them pass, let them be there, attend to
Sure.
them, watch them, right? And then, of course, once they pass, just go back to your rational mind and then have it
Mhm.
help you create some sort of a strategy for either next time, for instance, let's say I was late, which I was, and or never showed up, let's say. Um,
Yeah.
then say, okay, so what can I do next time? So next time I can make sure that I actually write that on my calendar, make an appointment, make sure that there is a reminder.
Yep.
That's one. Okay.
Mhm.
Two, there may be, let's say I don't have opportunity to do that. Make myself a mental note somehow, whatever it is. And also telling people whom I'm meeting with, if I'm not there, call me.
Yeah.
Okay. Or text me or something. Okay.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, it rarely happens, but just to know awareness. Okay.
Mhm.
So, or whatever other solution you may come up with, right?
Yeah.
I mean, these are just like a couple examples, but whatever solution that may come up with is
Mhm.
putting it in there. So, and the next
Yeah.
one I wanted to talk to a little bit is the expectations, because we oftentimes get our hopes up for something, okay? And then something doesn't quite go the way that we thought that was supposed to go, supposed to, I'll put
Mhm.
in air quotes. And then something else happens and we feel super disappointed. Again,
Mhm.
to me, it is emotion to be felt and
Yeah.
process, and then again, just letting go. However, being a human being,
Mhm.
it isn't always easy to let go. Okay.
Yeah.
And so if you find yourself, Tammy, for yourself, maybe, if you find yourself in these situations where you feel like, yeah, something disappointed you and it's now lasting 5 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, day, whatever, and you still feel disappointment, what would you look for to change, or how else, what would you change?
My first stop would be, who is my expectation serving?
Mm,
So I would go all the way back to how the expectation came to be.
mm-hmm,
Did I set the expectation to please someone else
mm-hmm,
because of an agenda that I think they might have? Is it
mm-hmm,
even true? Is it even real?
mm-hmm,
Is it even present? What does my expectation serve?
mm-hmm,
And is it realistic?
mm-hmm.
Oftentimes, expectations aren't. I think that very often expectations are created from the energy of fear.
Yes.
If my expectation plays out, what is it saving me from?
Mm,
What's going to happen if it doesn't? What am I afraid of? What am I trying to prevent? And that's projection, right?
mm-hmm,
So I'm not
mm-hmm,
even there yet, which ties into the, is it real? Is it true? Is it possible? Is it realistic kind of thing?
mm-hmm,
And I don't like to have them really that much. I try to operate away from that and sort of focus more on being present at my highest. Because if I'm doing that, I'm not in a state of fear. I'm not in a state of insecurity. I'm in a state of peace, calm, trust, faith. And from all of that, I am in the energy of a belief system that trusts and knows that everything is working out for me.
yeah.
Because if I'm living in, which is my belief, that all of life is here for me, I know I'm a broken record, I know. But if I am living from there, then I actually don't want expectations. because I want to live in the joy of knowing that everything is here for me. I want to live in eagerness, excitement, complete satisfaction of where I am, eager, excited for everything that's going to come, because I trust and believe that everything that's going to come is for me,
Yeah.
even if it's not optimum. Still, if I'm in that energy, like even the ones that aren't optimum, like the stuff that you don't want to do, and doctor's appointments and grocery shopping and whatever, whatever the things that we do that aren't on the top of our list, like they're just little flashes. So yeah, I try to live in a state of that outside of expectations.
Yeah, I was gonna ask that is was there something that made you realize the danger of the expectations in your life? Like, was there occasions when you noticed maybe over and over, like I have for myself noticed over and over that whenever I
Yeah.
had expectation and I had disappointment after that followed. So the expectation, it's like inevitable the disappointment comes.
Mhm.
I'm not saying that all of them, but it does
Yeah.
come at some point. And so, like, if you have expectation
Mhm.
and expectations fulfilled, you mostly don't even notice that.
No.
But when you have expectation and it didn't fu get fulfilled, you
Mhm.
notice it a lot. So
Yeah.
something in yours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, yes, I would say that predominantly it's of myself. The source of it is expectations of myself for the expectations that I perceive others have for
Mm.
me,
Hmm.
which is like tenfold, of course, because I'm very thorough. I don't like to do things halfway. So I need to think about it that way, right? I need to
Hmm.
turn it into this. So yeah, so not only is it expectations of me, I took it further and added in, oh, well, yeah, I have to have these expectations of myself because I'm going to choose to perceive what other people expect of me just from my own mind, which right there is they're not true or real. So it was not only after when it doesn't happen, not only was I then in the disappointment, failure, blah, 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 blah story of,
Hmm.
oh, look, Tammy, see, you set this expectation and you didn't meet it. So who do you think you are? Like
Hmm.
that.
Hmm.
It was that. And then, so shame,
Hmm.
judgment.
Yep.
And then if it went too far, there was almost resentment felt
Hmm.
of others, because that story would say, oh, well, you went to all this trouble and all this thought
Hmm.
to set this expectation so that you met what others wanted.
Hmm.
And then when it doesn't come, it's like, oh, well, then it's like, oh, they didn't even appreciate me, or whatever. Like it just gets messy. It just gets really messy. They never work out well.
Yes, they do not.
Never.
And as you pointed out before, there is always a lot to learn from our shortcomings, so-called.
Mhm.
And because those are really the times, again, back to that early quote, life will present you with people and circumstances that will show you where
Mhm.
you are not free. And
Yeah.
thank you, Peter, for that. Again, that's a beautifully
Mhm.
articulated, again, sentence and points out very much the nature of our life in the sense that we get our unconscious patterns revealed in life. So just
Yeah.
live in life purely. So you have expectation.
Mhm.
Make appointment with someone and you're looking forward to it, and they don't show up, and you feel disappointed. You feel like, oh, I don't matter. Oh, where's that
Mhm.
coming from? I don't matter. Oh, well, where was the first time I heard that? Okay. Oh, I remember that time. And then you start to kind
Yeah.
of get into this
Mhm.
unraveling and revealing of
Yeah.
where that real imprisonment is, right? Of like where you're
Mhm.
feeling that heaviness, that pressure that you are continuously then applying towards yourself.
Mhm.
And wonder like, why do I mind when that happens?
Mhm.
So on
Yeah.
the other end, if I was the person, or when I was the person, or when I am at times,
Mhm.
that somebody agrees to come and they don't show up, I have the opportunity now to be that let's say the bigger person and say, hey, you know
Mhm.
what, I get it. Life gets in the
Yeah.
way, things happen.
Mhm.
If it's a business meeting or something, say, okay, well, the start charge is still happening, whatever. But
Mhm.
if it's not a business meeting and it's just I spent my time waiting for someone, okay, well, perhaps there was actually a time when I was going to this appointment that I felt like I should not go, or that
Mm.
I don't need to, or that maybe I felt within me somewhere a message saying that don't rush, okay?
Mhm.
Because some divine order already gave the message that this person isn't coming, so you might as well not rush if
Mhm.
you are going to leave at all, right? And so sometimes there's that point where I feel like we are not receiving these messages because we are in
Mm.
rush mode because of the scheduling appointment or something. So we rely so little these days on the natural flow of things in life,
Mhm.
which is something that our ancestors were doing all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, we were just talking about today briefly is that in my culture, like where I grew up in Slovakia, and in a few others, in a book like we're saying the same thing in their cultures, that people just show up. It's like, oh, hey,
Mm.
I was passing by, I just stopped by, unannounced. That doesn't happen here
Mm.
or
Yeah.
anymore. People always
Mhm.
text, always let you know, which is, kind of like polite way of going. But at the same time, it's like, where did
Mhm.
we lose something here? You
Mhm.
know?
The same with, like, texting someone if they're free to talk.
Hmm.
I do that. It's
We all do
almost
it because it's a
it
polite
feels like
society.
dis yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It feels like you're being respectful of somebody's time, but, well,
Hmm.
if they're not able to answer, then they just won't answer the phone.
Hmm.
But, yeah, no, you're very right, and to your point, which is great about the divine order and divine timing and everything being for us, sometimes things like being late, not showing up, and that happening, sometimes it happens so that we learn that we're still loved, we still matter, we're still honored, we're still
Mm.
appreciated. The person doesn't feel any different about us.
Mm.
They just honor that we're human.
Yeah.
Things happen.
Yeah.
Because if somebody feels disrespected, that's on them. If it happens and there was no intention to do it, disrespect wasn't meant, there's no energy of disrespect. It was
Mhm.
just a human mistake, error, whatever. The one that turns it into disrespect is the one holding and needs to look at the reflection of,
Mm.
why do I feel disrespected
Yes.
by this person? Do I really believe that? Do I really think that of this person? Okay. You sit with that and same thing. You sit with that inquiry. And then if it does turn out to be true, okay, then you have some things to think about and maybe you need to detach. Maybe something needs to change in a relationship if you find it to be true. But otherwise, most of the time, if you've made plans with people and you know someone and it happens, I want to say most of the time, it's just an error. And maybe it needed to happen for the other person so that they know they're not thought of in any different way.
Hmm.
It's nothing. It's okay.
Hmm. I was literally going to say the same thing, is that sometimes that my being late is happening for the other person
Mhm.
to
Mhm.
show them, again, reveal something for them they're
Mhm.
not free of, right? Where I could, yeah, I
Yeah.
could go to in
Yeah.
my old days, I would, belittle myself or whatever else,
Mhm.
silly, dumb, whatever. Is like, how can you do that to
Yeah.
this person? They have, your best interest in mind, and you just like stand them up. It's like, okay,
Mhm.
yeah, I could do that, but that doesn't serve anybody really,
No.
especially not
Mm-mm.
me, right?
No. No.
So, like you said, it's just starting to live from perspective of being love. It's like when you're in that space, when I'm in that space of, okay, I appreciate my life. I
Mm.
appreciate people that I have around me. I'm looking forward to learning something new today. I'm in this
Mhm.
space in my being authentic with myself. Something happens.
Yeah.
There is a agreement. Okay, it was a meeting. There was expectation behind that. Okay, well, that didn't pan out. That didn't work out. Okay, I kind of feel a little sad. Okay, I'm done feeling sad. Okay, I'm moving on, right?
Mhm.
If that happens, excellent. You felt your feeling, you felt your emotion, whatever showed up. You processed it, you let it be what it is. You moved on. Again, if needed be, make a different arrangements,
Mhm.
with whatever you need to do, following up on that, and then moving on with your life, right?
Yeah.
But again, so when these snags or things happen, you are shown where it is that you still have some work to do. How can we
Mhm.
take this? How can we take disappointments and or false or just expectations we had that become disappointments with grace?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And to your point, trace it back and say, okay, where did that start? So if it is that, and we took it and we go into the fear of like, oh my gosh, like this is going to hurt my work relationship or any relationship or whatever. This is going to hurt something.
Hmm.
Where did that start?
Right.
Where did it happen that you can't make a mistake? Where did that story start?
Mm-hmm.
Who wrote that story?
Hmm.
We wouldn't just create a story like that. It doesn't just come out of thin air.
Yeah.
It started somewhere.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
suggested by somewhere.
Exactly. Someone suggested it, something you've heard certain way, the
Mhm.
certain way that you explained it to yourself, again, based on your filters, based on your upbringing and stuff.
Mhm. Yeah.
And as a soul, as a free, abundant soul that you are, when we refer to the you, from that perspective, it has nothing but authenticity.
Right.
It
Yeah.
can be authentically sad, it can be
Mhm.
authentically angry, it can be authentically joyous,
Yep.
gracious and grateful, and all sorts of things. Disappointment is a temporary state of being.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
versus
Exactly.
months and
Yeah.
months and years of holding grudges and whatever.
Yeah, exactly. It robs ourselves of
Yeah.
everything.
Yes.
And it's such a benefit to do the work of looking
Hmm.
because it'll sprout, it'll grow legs and branches and leaves. And if it's not seen, felt, nourished, and nurtured, eventually it'll turn into like isolation and not making plans, fearing making commitments. Oh, what if I mess it up?
Hmm.
Oh, I don't want to go for that because, I might mess it up. I always mess things up. I always da 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 da. And these icky stories of I always. Oh, yeah, no, I don't want to do that because I'll blah, 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 whatever. And so it's just like the story of being lost. Like it's so worth just pause for a minute. The pause in the self reflection and the self inquiry is always a time saver. It's the most valuable time that you can take in a moment of distress is a pause
Hmm.
because it's just a moment. It'll calm everything, but the rushing forward that of pain and the reactivity, it's just gonna lead you further into the woods. Yeah.
Yes, yes, totally will.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
not per se quote, but this I was just listening what Peter was saying is that loving things you like about yourself is not much of a lift. There is a great opportunity to improve your capacity to love the parts of you that feel unlovable. And I think we've already discussed this one a little bit,
Mhm.
but again, it is easy to accept and love the parts of ourselves that feel nice or are lovable and acceptable.
Mhm.
But the real work really is hidden where we don't love the parts of us
Mhm.
where we think we are unlovable,
Mhm.
or unacceptable, in that sense. And
Mhm.
so pointing a light a little bit onto that from experiences that we happen to have every day, really. Unless you're a saint, you're going to have this kind of experience every day.
Yeah.
There may be a physical something that's, you may like your eyebrows, you may like your nose, whatever, but you really don't care for your ear or for your neck or
Mhm.
something. I don't know, and
Mhm.
then and it's like, can you love that neck or whatever else as well as the parts of you that you already love? That's
Mhm.
just physically silly example, but you get the point. I think it's in a sense of
Mhm.
like, yes, I'm outspoken maybe with people. I love hanging out with people, but then there's this part of me that feels insecure and unsafe. And when that comes
Mm.
out, I like want to like shoo it away. So I'll
Yep.
be overly chatty and just like try to force this on. And
Yeah.
you know, for those of you out there who are who have the airy or Vata personalities, understanding a
Mm.
little bit of Ayurveda, basically that you want to over talk when you feel nervous.
Mm.
That's again a coping mechanism to try to hide some part of you that you don't accept about yourself. And so
Mm.
bringing it out for myself, say, oh, you know what? I'm being super chatty. I must feel like I'm nervous or something. Okay, so let me check in
Mm.
real quick, right? So for myself to know that, I just check in,
Mm.
be for a moment, right? Just like you said, when you get lost, stop,
Mhm.
hang on, be there, right?
Yep.
And then go, right? And then so you allow the soul to kind of like catch up with you, with
Yeah.
your avatar, so to say, right? So with that
Mhm. Mhm.
persona that we're here playing this role, soul is like, okay, hang on a second, that's too many roles. I don't know which one. I lost track. Which one are we playing now?
Yeah. Mhm.
So in that sense, I feel like it's easier to love things about yourself that are lovable and or accept things that are about yourself that are acceptable versus things that are not. But those things are the real gold, is where it points us to find something about ourselves that we can
Mhm.
give a grace towards.
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah, I agree. It's the parts that feel lack of love for.
Hmm.
Those are the parts pointing you to where we need to love more. The reason that they come into focus is it's a call for love, and we, the feeler of it, are the only one that can answer the call. Because you can not like something and you can go to every friend and every person, and 99% of them are going to say no, it's great. They're not going to tell you that there's something wrong with it. But it doesn't matter. If your soul isn't willing to believe it, then it doesn't matter how many people tell us. We're still going to go out there and try to, think we can find it or we need this validation. So
Hmm.
it's just called to look at it more, not to stop looking in the mirror because we don't like the way something looks. Like, no, that's a call to sit in front of the mirror more. I know I've mentioned it. I do a lot of mirror work. I mean, that was the foundation of most stuff in the beginning. And it's a place that I start with many people because the need is to see it and feel it and hear it from ourselves, from our own voice looking in the mirror. And I'll say, do it, sit in front of the mirror first thing in the morning, and when the eyes are puffy or the hair's a mess and you haven't done it, the face is puffy and inflamed, whatever. Like in the times when it's where the not wanted shows up the most, that's the time to sit and look.
Mm.
And it doesn't take a lot of time. It doesn't
Mm.
take years to fix it. When it comes from the source that it's needed from, which is our own ourselves, then it happens quickly
Mhm.
and it becomes a habit. It's acceptance.
Yeah.
It's loving acceptance of every part and every piece. And it's like those parts, like those are the holes in the boat to life. If we
Hmm.
think, gosh, I just can't seem to get anywhere because, my boat keeps filling up with water. I don't know
Hmm.
what's the matter. I check. The holes are the unloved parts.
Hmm.
That's where the water's getting in. And so
Yeah.
love fills it in for us. And I wanted to reflect too about being chatty. I've experienced it and I've spoken to others where there's the energy of talking a lot and talking fast. If there's insecurity and feeling unworthy to even be in the conversation, if there's any area of like gosh, I don't know. I don't, I feel
Mhm,
insecure here. Whether it
mhm,
be like I don't feel smart enough to be in this conversation with this group,
mhm,
or,
mhm, mhm.
somebody that you want attention from, that you really, really care if they like you. There's a talking fast and talking a lot, almost like, okay, well, I gotta say a lot because I gotta try to make sure that I prove
That
that
they
I'm
like me or
worthy of this
something.
conversation. Like, let me hurry up and
Yeah.
say enough so that they, yeah, yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I
So,
totally get that. Totally get that. Thank you for
mhm,
speaking to that as well. Yeah, it's
yeah,
again another opportunity to say, okay, so part of you feels that you're not good enough somehow, that you don't,
mhm,
fit into this group, into this conversation,
yeah,
but you are here.
mhm,
Somehow you got here. It
exactly,
must be a good reason that you're
mhm,
there. That must mean that you are good enough to be in this group of these people in this
yeah,
conversation, right?
yeah. It's like, how do I know if I'm supposed to be here?
You're here.
Because you're here.
I love it. Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. So would
Mhm,
you be open to sharing just a very short, or if you, as long as you want, as well, um, maybe from like when you were starting doing the mirror work,
mhm,
something that you might remember, like how did that go, like earlier on? Because today I presume you are pretty pro at it and it takes literally a couple seconds or a minute or two maybe
mhm,
or
mhm.
few to
Yep.
say something or do something. But is there some sort of example you'd be open to share with the
Mhm,
viewers, just to give them some glimpse or insight into like what do I do with the mirror work? I mean, I look at myself
mhm.
and then what? Yeah.
Yeah, for me, it started with intention of facing the mirror when I felt the worst.
Mhm,
Like, that was where I went when things were really the darkest, and
mhm,
the pain or the fear or whatever it was, that I wanted to look away when there was self-judgment,
mhm,
shame, those kind of things. The impulse is to turn away and not look, because it's like you don't want to look at the car crash because you don't want to see how bad it is. So there's a feeling of like, no, let me, and it might not be as bad and gruesome as we think it is, but the only way we know is by looking.
mhm,
And way back, I would say at first it didn't feel genuine
mhm,
in the beginning.
mhm,
It was like, okay, it's like kind of like affirmations, right? Like you're saying this stuff. It's like, and then you're saying it, and then the ego's going, "That's not, what are you talking about? That's not true. You don't have that yet. What are you talking about? You have that. You don't have that."
mhm,
It's this speaking of a desire as if it's already revealed. Like, well, no, it isn't. Like the ego's right there to say, "No, no, 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 no. You're wrong. That's not true.
mhm,
Remember what you did. Remember what you said.
mhm,
Remember how much we judged you. Like, remember how bad you are." That. And so
mhm,
it was almost like a conflict or a debate with my
mhm,
ego. It's so my heart and love and my ego are now in a debate in the mirror.
mhm, mhm. Interesting.
And the only way that it changed was to stay. It was like just that steadfast, squarely face yourself, which
Mhm,
I've kind of always had, um that nature about me. Like I want to see something for what it is, no matter what it looks like. If I can see something, I can cope with it, deal with it, change, do whatever is necessary, but I need to see
mhm,
it. There,
mhm,
it's just in me.
mhm,
And so I applied that to myself, but I did it in a loving way. And so the love is what came in more. The more I sat and faced it
mhm,
and turned it into a discussion and not a debate. It wasn't me against my ego. It was just love sitting there and being present.
mhm,
Like A Course in Miracles teaches us, there's no attack should ever be, not even attack back. An attack is an attack, even if it's attacking back. You're still involved in it. You're keeping the attack going. And so it was just taking time at first. And when I would feel the worst, and whatever the feeling was, I would speak to it in the
mhm,
mirror.
mhm,
So, maybe I felt like I did wrong or whatever, I would go and I would speak to myself the same as I would speak to a friend or my daughter. I would
Mm,
say what I would say to somebody that I care about, which is
mm,
I mean, it's a tool that, we all use in the world of counsel, right? Like,
yeah,
okay, what would you say?
yeah.
And I had a vision of when I'm in the mirror, I'm not looking at my adult self. I'm looking at my younger self who's the
Ooh.
one that has the fear. So
Oh,
it's not
good one.
me. It's not now, present time, because I have awareness that the negative feeling, the fear, the pain, whatever it is,
Mm-hmm.
I have awareness to it's internal, it's younger self. I'm
Mm-hmm.
here as the adult sitting in front of the mirror,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
talking to my younger self.
Gotcha. Okay, so I'm curious about this because this is great. Thank you. Um, when you so once you let's say that you feel frustrated, would you
Mhm.
go in front of mirror at that
Yep.
point or not? You would. Okay.
Anything.
So if you're frustrated and you go in front of a mirror and you just storm in front of a mirror and you look into your self image, right? And you
Mhm.
go, oh, I feel frustrated, right?
Mhm.
Whatever. And then do you look at your face, your eyes, any part of it, all of it?
All.
And then okay, so and then do you take a breath? Is there a point at which it softens because you're looking
Yes.
at
Mhm.
yourself? Because you're witnessing yourself.
Mhm. Yep.
Okay. Would it be helpful, or did you sometimes try that? Just curious again, to have a picture of your young self, like a girl that you were on the mirror, yeah, on the mirror, just slapped on it
Yep.
somewhere, and looking at her for you, and for myself, him, and
Mhm.
and looking into his or her eyes, right?
Yes.
Have you done that as well? Was it helpful?
I still do that. I
Oh, okay.
always do that. I have a picture that I keep. Like, I have an altar that I made just for my it's I
Inner
have a few
child.
altars, but I have one that is solely only for my younger self.
Uh,
And on it, it's a picture of me. It's, many 17 years ago, maybe, I started doing a lot of really deep soul retrieval work,
mhm,
with my teacher, and that was one of the first things she suggested, was create an altar for her, put her picture there, and what she likes, like her favorite colors, things that
mm,
young Tammy likes, and it's
mhm,
just hers, and that's where
mhm,
we come and we sit.
mm,
Um, but yes, in the mirror, it's I face whatever it is and I allow it.
mhm,
Just like if my 7, 8, 9-year-old self came to me in physical form,
mhm,
upset, frustrated, angry, hurt, whatever the feeling is, I listen. I say it all. I don't alter it, I don't edit it, I don't try to talk love, I don't nothing. I let it all
mhm,
just come out because
mhm,
that's part of honoring. If I'm gonna sit in front of the mirror and say, "Okay, I'm here for you," because my goal is to form a trusted, genuine, unapologetic, fully unconditional, loving relationship with my younger self, my full self. That's the goal.
mhm. I'm glad you said full self as well, because younger self, that's part of you,
Yeah. So
all of you.
if there's any gap in there, the pain points, things of childhood that create the insecurity or the things that we call triggers, the things that we call that get lit up and we get reactive to. When we sit with our younger self, I'm coming in as the adult
Hmm.
saying, "Okay, I understand. I get it. I know why you feel that way. I understand you. I see you. I hear you. I'm here. I am not leaving you. I will not leave. No matter how messy this gets, no matter what you say, you can be angry, you can be mad, you can be completely irrational. I don't
Mm,
care. There is nothing that you can do or say that will change the love that I have for you and the fact that I am sticking, I am staying, I am not leaving. It's the same
mm,
statements I made to my daughter. Like,
mm,
there is nothing that you can
mm,
do. If I'm going to say that and be impeccable with my word and live in integrity, well then, when I sit in
Mm,
front of the mirror, I'm going to say to her, "I'm here. Go ahead. Tell me how you feel. I'm going to stay and I'm going to listen." Then I'm going to tell her, "I get it. I understand. I understand that's how you feel now.
mhm,
I have now grown. I've gone out into the world, into life, and into life experience. I know how to deal with this now. I know what we need to do now.
mhm,
It's okay."
mhm.
But she, younger self, is not going to trust me unless I stay and sit and let her let her have the expressions.
Mhm,
And so that's the biggest part of the mirror work for me. Is like it's
mhm,
forming that trust, because sometimes, just like in now, in adult real time now, right?
mhm.
Very often, I think more often than not, w- if we're upset about something, very often we just need to be heard. Like, we need to say it out into space and have it be received.
Yep.
We're not even needing something to be done,
Mhm.
which is good because nothing can be done by another person. It's just that we all just want to be heard, seen, and loved for whatever is heard and seen. Like, we want to be
Yeah.
able to say it and be loved still.
Yeah, again, living in tribes a long time ago, right? If I was ousted out of the tribe, I wouldn't make it, right? So if I was kicked out, so I wouldn't make it. So that fear exists in all of us, whether it's
Right.
this big or whether it's this big, like
Yeah.
whatever.
Mhm.
But that fear
Right.
is there no matter what. And so if I was to have the kind of self-talk, right,
Mhm.
that something happens
Yeah.
and no, no, that can't be. Now this child is stepping in because it feels that fear.
Mhm.
That the child that I
Exactly.
used to grow up as or be in this body, right,
Mm.
has had those experiences very, very viscerally living
Mhm.
in that time when the human brain wasn't fully formed. And
Right.
so that ended up going into the subconscious mind, and then subconscious mind now just pulls it out because that's like the reference that
Yeah.
it can give out to in order to try to feel safe. So to me, that's like when you are in this space of trying to feel safe because something that happened in your life, you reacted as the child self.
Right.
Like you said, have compassion for that. Listen to that child, hear him or her out. Let them feel the feeling, emotion, let it pass again.
Mhm.
And I love that the in the mirror work that you process this way, because you can, yes, you can look at yourself. I've done it several times myself as well. It's like I look in the mirror and look into the eyes, and I see fear. I see fear, and then I'm asking like,
Yeah.
which part of me sees that fear in the eyes of myself?
Yeah.
You
Mhm.
know?
Mhm.
So because the mirror, like a reflection, right? It's so good. It's like
Yeah.
with the person, with another person. That's why we
Mhm.
like to talk to people because they
Yeah.
reflect back to us something that is within us.
Mhm.
Because we're
Yeah.
connected. All of us are connected together, right? In one
Mhm.
big
Yeah.
pot
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
life.
Everybody is you pushed out.
Oh yeah, I like that. You put out.
That
Mm,
again, it's like back to the pause, like, the sooner that you look, what you see, you
mhm,
can heal.
mhm,
If we don't look and we keep
mhm,
turning away,
mhm.
or denial, or whatever the case may be,
Yeah.
it's gonna stay there and it's gonna grow. It's not gonna
Yeah, yeah,
go
yeah.
anywhere. It's
Yep.
only gonna be dissolved when you sit in love and hear it.
Yep. When you witness it, like you're witnessing something happening, whether it's your friend, whether it's yourself in the mirror, but you're witnessing this experience that you're having or they're having,
Yeah.
then it's allowed to just move along, right? In that
Mhm.
sense.
Oh, yeah, it very often it passes quickly.
Hmm.
The things stay that aren't dealt with. It's like if you have a wound on your hand and you don't clean it, but you put a Band-Aid over it. Well, now you've trapped the dirt in there under the
Mm,
Band-Aid.
mm,
It's gonna get worse.
yeah.
and it's going to start to cover your whole hand. I mean, it's going to get worse. It needs to be cleaned, and then it needs air. It needs
Yeah.
love. It
Yes.
needs a Band-Aid on it. If you're going to be outside, you don't want it to get dirty. Yeah. But you clean it, you put ointment on it, and then you put a Band-Aid on it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you just cover up the dirt, then it's just going to stay and it's going to fester and it's going to get worse.
Mm-hmm.
Same with, ignoring it. It's
Mm-hmm.
like a splinter that doesn't come out, and then new skin starts to grow over it. Well,
Mm-hmm.
it's still a foreign body in the skin. It's still
Mm-hmm.
underneath there,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's the same kind of concept. Like,
Mm-hmm.
we're better to look than to turn away, and it's okay. I make a commitment and I write it down. I make a commitment to show up with unconditional love no matter what happens.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what happens, and to stay.
Mm-hmm.
And if I honor that commitment, when I make that commitment, within it is a remembering of all that I am. And it's a remembering of that everything is for me, that it's all divine, that this
Mm-hmm.
is for a reason. I might
Mm-hmm.
not be able to see the blessing yet, but if
Mm-hmm.
I trust that it's there, it's going to be a lot easier and smoother to sit there and look it in the face. And sometimes it's not right away. You can sit in the mirror and go through it, and it's messy, and there's tears, and there's anger, and it's just it can be really hard to sit there.
Yeah. Where do you suppose trusting comes from? It's like, we talk about, yeah, you gotta trust, right?
Mm,
And that's easier said than done especially for those versions of us that feel often like we're, inadequate, we feel insecure, we feel not ourselves. And
mhm.
in that point of our life, things like trusting and or loving might feel so far away that's incomprehensible. So where would you say like you have gathered this knowing of trusting? It's like how do you
Mm.
trust? What do you do or not do in order to trust, in order to have that trust?
By being down to nothing and living through it.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's probably what's
I,
gonna happen here.
I mean, on it,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
because it can't be outsourced. The best coaches and teachers and therapists and counsel of any kind, nothing can occur until we are willing to embody it long term.
Hmm. Yeah, and then willingness to embody then comes into back into what I was just thinking of, a commitment, I suppose. So if you really are making commitment to yourself to learn something, to
Mhm.
become someone you wanted to become, you've dreamed of becoming something or someone
Mhm.
somehow, somewhere,
Yeah.
and creating a commitment and sticking to that commitment, that's like the first agreement, right? It's, the be impeccable with your word, right? You've mentioned before.
Yeah.
And in the commitment to yourself,
Yeah.
forget like who you're going to disappoint. Although sometimes it's nice to have someone else to keep us
Mhm.
accountable for something that we feel somehow inadequate or weak to
Mhm.
complete or follow through. And so
Yeah.
sometimes the commitment, it's good to create some sort of commitment that you share with someone and they can keep you honest about it, right? Because if you don't have anybody checking you, a lot of times it's just like goes, oh, okay, that was that. I'm done with that. I'm not paying attention to that anymore.
Yeah.
Well,
Mhm.
how important was that really to you?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. And that's a great place for an initial inquiry, because if we don't feel worthy of our own time to sit, look, hear, see, feel, to make that commitment,
Hmm.
that's where everything needs to start then. Like, that's where sort of the work needs to start, because all the mirror work in the world isn't going to do anything if you don't believe that you're worthy of hearing love look back at you
Yeah,
and see it.
yeah,
If you don't think you're worthy of feeling the love that you're going to speak into the mirror, you could talk all day long and it's not going to make any difference. It's like somebody telling you, "No, no, you look great. It looks fine." Yeah, 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 whatever. Okay.
yeah.
You're
I
just
don't
saying
believe it.
that.
Right.
You're just
Mhm.
saying that. And that's where it begins, and it's like just that steadfast desire to want something different. And Very often, yeah, it's the down to nothing moments. But
Hmm.
the down to nothing, those are the best because that's when it really matters and that's when you're going to know. That's what builds trust. How do people go to war and have the courage to go and into something where, they believe in the cause. They trust the brotherhood. They trust there's trust, there's faith, and if we don't have that within ourselves, then yeah, you're not going to be able to sustain it long term.
Yeah.
Just yeah, ask why.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I feel the a lot of us struggle with what is my, mission in life? Why am I here? What's my purpose, right? And
Mhm.
sometimes, some of us just like, I don't care about purpose, I don't care about mission and any of that stuff, and
Mhm.
I just want to live my life, which kind of means like, okay, I'm worried about something and I feel purposeless, and I feel worried that somebody will see that and, uncover that
Mhm.
I'm purposeless, right?
Mhm.
And I think that as we age in our lives, also as we progress through these levels of the game, in some sense, right? We go through self-worth and struggles, or shaming and guilting, and go through becoming willing to change something, then beginning to feel love, beginning to feel gratitude, beginning to shift our awareness higher and higher in sense, and have an understanding of what life is. Now we're getting to a later age in life, typically in this game, for me, at least anyway, that's like how I look at it. And we start to look for like, what is my legacy? What am I here to leave to my next generation, right? And but a lot of times I feel that people find there's a lot of money, but no
Mhm.
legacy.
Yeah.
And then sometimes it's the opposite way around. They have no money and a lot of
Mhm.
legacy, which is, again, I mean, I think a lot of people would much rather have a legacy to leave than to kind of trade for money. Money is a great
Yeah.
tool, it's a great tool to have and is necessary in this world, in this reality, but it is
Mhm.
definitely not something that is absolutely necessary or needed
Right.
in order to create some sort of legacy or understand your mission in life, right? Purpose.
Mm.
So I think that we're gonna leave that to another day of discussion, perhaps the mission in life and the vision, and see how whether that's still inspiring next time we see each other. Uh,
Mhm.
but yeah, thank you so much again for hanging
Mm.
out with me and
Yeah, my pleasure.
beautiful ideas and thoughts and sharing your journey with us. And
Mm.
yeah, looking forward to doing that all
Yeah.
over again next time. So
Yeah. Thank you.
yeah.
Yeah, it's such an honor to be here, you know? Yeah, I love our conversations and, yeah, it's what we all need, I think. Yeah.
Absolutely. I think
Beautiful.
everybody needs that for sure. Just a little bit of
Mhm.
understanding and just being seen, being witnessed. So, for
Yeah.
those of you who are watching, listening, or were listening, appreciate you. And leave us a comment, leave us a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you want to see more of the stuff that we are going to put out there. And until next time, we'll look forward to seeing you.
Mm.
We
Mm.
might talk about vision and mission in life and the levels of the game that we're playing
Yeah.
here. And I look forward to seeing
Mm.
you there.
Yes.
Take good care.
Mm.
And as usual, if you enjoyed the content of today's podcast, please give us a like, subscribe, and hit that bell button just so you're notified of any future videos that we release. Leave us a comment if there's something that inspired you, something that made you think about something that you do in your life that perhaps is something that you want to change. And in our next podcast, we're going to talk a little bit more about our mission, our personal mission in life, purpose. Why are we here? What are we here to create? What are we here to learn? And how the living from loving state of awareness brings about a vision that then helps us identify our purpose and the mission in life. Take good care, stay awake to life, what it brings you, and stay aware of what's happening within you and outside. I look forward to seeing you soon.